Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Stump, where we are usually four blokes who like to talk cricket, but we're three at the moment. Our Royston has been delayed, and he might be joining us at any moment. On today's show, we'll be reviewing the first games of the IPL. My name is Ed, and I'm joined by Ross and Rob. How are you boys doing today?
Yeah, good. Loving the IPL at the moment. Every single game's a smasher.
Just moved in last week, and it's still a bit bare, but we're getting it. All good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, firstly, before we get going, just a quick reminder for you to like and subscribe to our channel. Click that little bell on YouTube and get alerts as soon as we put them up, new video content up. Also, head over to our Facebook page, The Fourth Stump. We love hearing from you, and do please get involved across whichever platform floats your boat. We are always ready to talk cricket. Want to start with the Mumbai Indians. Their first game, of course, against RCB. RCB won it by 2 wickets on the last ball,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Getting a single as well. So great start to the tournament. Ross, your thoughts on that game? On the losing side, you're Mumbai.
Yeah, unlucky to lose, really. I mean, Mumbai are notorious for starting slow in tournaments. There was that year back in, I think 5 years ago, I think it was 2016, where Mumbai did lose their first 5 games, went on to win. So we generally start slow. And if I remember rightly, please, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but we haven't won a first opening game in the IPL for nearly, I think it's 8 seasons now, 9 seasons. 2012. I mean, that's unbelievable for someone who's who's after a hat trick of titles. But so to be honest with you, I wasn't actually surprised that we lost. Cody looked bang up for it. So did AB de Villiers, who hit an absolute amazing score, 48 from 27. And also, obviously, Glenn Maxwell, 39 from 28, a big show. We've been slagging.
He's a fun one to sort of slate at times, isn't he?
Just want to throw out there, you guys have been slagging him off, not me. I love him. I mean, he's brilliant. And he's proven it this IPL with his 50 average so far.
He does seem to be proving us wrong. Yeah, I was at Ross's watching the game. We were sat on the sofa, and Ross says to me, "Oh, you know what? He's actually blind in Glenn Maxwell." And I was like, "Don't tell Rob."
Harsha Patel taking 5 for 27 in its 4 overs. I mean, that was unbelievable. I was watching it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Chris Lynn was our top scorer, 49 of 35. Very weird to see him batting, actually, because De Kock was our main man last year as an opener. 503 runs from Mumbai last year.
Yep, De Kock was quarantining because he had to come. He came back from the South Africa squad late. So Lynn stepped up in his place, really. Mumbai lost the game, but 49 ain't bad. What do you think? I know, was Lynn unlucky to then get dropped for the second game against Kolkata?
I think he was, yeah. I think he was unlucky, but I completely understood why Mumbai put De Kock back in. I mean, he's got a formidable opening partnership with Sharma. Like I said, he scored 503 runs last year and De Kock wicket keep. So he's got that over Lynn. We took 2 international players as bowlers, which were Bolt and Jansen. We seem to be going forward with Jansen, which so far I think he seems a good bowler so far. He's only young. He's only 21 years old.
Then we moved on with Mumbai to what happened the other night in Chennai against Kolkata.
It's part of the script every year, isn't it? Mumbai lose the first game, then they beat Kolkata the second game. Every year.
Yeah, well, our record's not good. 22 wins from Mumbai now, and 6.
It's 3 of the last 5 years they've beat Kolkata second game.
Well, it showed what happened on Monday. We're needing 31 from 31, and the capitulation. It's a curse of Mumbai. You're fully in our heads. And
is it a curse of Mumbai, or is it your ridiculous captain?
No, let's not get onto that. We're not on Kolkata yet, Rob. Calm yourself down.
Fair enough.
Ralan Tripathi did, get Kolkata off to a good start that game. At the break, you're thinking, well, Kolkata are going to come out and be not boring but methodic. Roy's not here, so we can't answer that, so that's good. And they're going to get very close to it or chase it down relatively easily, like Kolkata did in their first game as well against Sunrisers Hyderabad. But just what happened was a mixture of Mumbai brilliance in the death, the experience that was there as well, a slow pitch, and also just key players getting out at the wrong times. Shakib Al Hasan went at the wrong time. Russell came in, looked like he's never held a cricket bat before in his life, after getting a fifer as well.
I was focusing mainly on Mumbai's batting, really. I mean, I've just written down here that Rohit, he got 43 off 32 and Yadav 56 off 36. So that absolutely bodes well for us moving forward. Probably our number 1 and number 3 batsmen. I mean, you you can't ask for more than that from the game in that game against Kolkata, really. So moving forward from Mumbai, you know, I'm expecting Yadav and Rohit Sharma to shine like they have done already.
Over now to Bangalore, who are Mumbai's first opponents in that game. Actually, the first time RCB have won a season opener, and that's their fourth attempt. Lost in 2008, 2017, 2019, finally broken the duck. So they've won in the first game, game one of IPL, the curtain raiser, if you like. So Padikkal, of course, didn't start the first game, but he did play in the second game, which meant that Kohli opened up with Washington Sundar, disappointing in the end. So I think they want Padikkal there, but is his form a bit of a worry? Or do you think he's got a few more match graces in terms of getting it right?
Yeah, definitely got, you know, he had a fantastic season last year. And you got to go by form, really. So there is only one game in. It's probably been a bit rusty. It has been a pandemic year as well. It's been a bit of a mad year. So yeah, he definitely retains his spot even with the failing from that back.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
And Rob, from the second game of RCB, they played Sunrisers Hyderabad, won by 6 runs in the end. Your man Maxwell, 59 of 41. Ahmed, terrific bowling, 3 wickets and 7 runs from his 2 overs. What was your highlights from that second game where, RCB?
Definitely Maxwell, obviously. I mean, he's man of the match, wasn't he? Just changed the game. He looked like he was playing on a different wicket to everyone else in Chennai. Brilliant.
One thing I would say about Bangalore, and it does bode well for them, I'd say, Maxwell starting good is an amazing thing. You know, we call him the big show for a reason. You know, probably a dip of form in the last few years, various T20 franchises around the world, but he scored 39 from 28 in the first. 59 from 41. So I mean, he's already scored 90 runs in 2 matches. I mean, you can't ask much more than that. You know, for a batsman, it's sort of middle order batsman.
A little bit on RCB as well. They got Jameson. Obviously, we talked a lot about at the start of it. Came with a big price tag. Very mixed at the moment. First game averaged under 7. Second game averaged 10. So you know, economy wise. So
takes a while. I mean, to it though.
Yeah, we need to see how he's going to get in over the tournament. But hopefully, he can do well. I'd like to see him do well, definitely.
You're now seeing those bowlers who are supreme death over specialists who don't go for many runs. They're very tight in those last overs. You get the bowlers seem to be fast-paced bowlers who can afford to be expensive, but just you want them banging down the track and getting wickets. And that's, you can definitely highlight the players that, you know, the captains and team management don't mind going for so many runs, because they know that when that time comes and when they need a settled batsman out, that's your go-to man. That's who you call to do it.
Kohli does look, for me, he looks more determined than ever this year. He looks like a man on a mission.
Welcome, Roy, to the fourth stump. He's come down from his high cloud after just watching his Royals smash it in the last few overs.
The $1 million man. Look at what's his face. He's thick as a pig.
Save your enthusiasm for about 10 minutes time, mate.
The WhatsApp group went completely silent for a good hour, and then next thing you know, you get 20 voice clips from Roy.
CSK is our next team to review. They played Delhi Capitals. Shaw 72 and Dhawan 85 really did the business for Delhi Capitals in an easy win, really. Rob, apologies, your first IPL out.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had Dhoni and Duplessis just didn't turn up the day. We were knocked a little bit just before the game when Hazelwood just decided not to come.
Dhoni.
Old and grey, yeah.
Old man, he just looks so tired.
All of our team, old and grey, yeah.
But you're absolutely right there, Rob. Dhoni didn't turn up, and I've got a feeling this is going to be a theme of coming out this year. I reckon we've all slated him and said he's not going to do too well. And I think that this is the start. Duplessis didn't turn up, but Rayner, 54 off 36. Yeah. And Sam Curran, 34 off 15. I mean, what more can you say there? I mean, that bowl's really well.
Adrian back from injury. He's going to be good, you know. Rayudu as well, played well. I think that middle order is pretty sorted other than Dhoni. So I reckon he should put himself a bit further down the order, if anything, and let Sam Curran and Moeen face a few more balls.
The thing is with Donut, he just seems to be like lazy. Doesn't seem to protect his wicket anymore. I find he looks so loose. Like in front of the stumps, you used to always believe in him. Like even if they played, someone bowled a really good ball, you would think this is Dhoni. He's got enough class. He'll flick it away, or he'll do. You know, he used to play his hockey shots, his little hockey shot sweep, just to get off strike. But he don't do that no more. He just got bowled the other day like it was nothing. I mean, I could have took his wicket the other day. He's shocking. It's time to go, mate. We've said it before. He's past it. I'm sorry.
I think we'll see over the season. I don't think you can just say that after one game or a few bad games, but we'll see over a season. I mean, if this lasts 4, maybe 5 games, then yeah, we'll start obviously having to ask those questions with him. But as far as the CSK leadership are concerned, they said he's there to stay. So we'll see.
Your Moeen Ali got 36 runs as well, I saw.
Beautiful, mate. And how well did he bowl as well? Tell me about that one ball he did wrong, probably everyone. But the other balls were brilliant, weren't they?
Just flew straight into the wicket.
Oh, mate, that was the best delivery I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, I was absolutely in fits of laughter. Even the batsman was like, what's he doing? What game's he playing here? He's not
Rob, you said he bowled well. He went for 33 off of 3 overs.
I thought he bowled all right. I think he was all right.
Economy of 11. You say that's all right.
He can't do anything wrong. He can't do nothing wrong in his eyes. Look at him.
Can't do anything wrong. Let me just tell you, Wokes.
Okay, to be fair, then he bowled worse than I thought. I thought he did all right. But if he's went for 11 and over, then he obviously didn't.
Well, let me tell you, Wokes had a 6 economy and got 2 wickets. He either bowled 2 or 4. Can't remember which one. But you know, that's your difference, mate. That's your difference between the two. You can't be saying Moeen Ali has done really well and he's gone for 33.
No, fair enough. No, I thought he went for less than that. Fair
Tom
enough,
Curran
got fair play to Sam Curran.
Did Moeen get a wicket? Did Moeen get a wicket for it? Oh, well, Tom Curran got a wicket for Delhi. He went for 40. So
let's not talk about Tom Curran yet. We'll get onto him.
Oh, okay, we'll get to that.
Him. How bad is he, by the way? We'll get onto him. And we obviously had that last minute pull out, and we've got Berendorf coming in now. But you know, it's a bit. We're gonna have to probably wait another game whilst he's in. Yeah, it might be great when he comes in, but we're going to have to wait another week now for him to get into the side. And, you know, it's a bit of bad form, really, from Hazelwood, in my opinion, to come and pull out so late.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, trust me, Rob, he's a great signing, mate. You'll see. He takes some wickets.
I think Jadeja as well. I think this is the first time he's been bowling for a little while as well, isn't it? So I think the bowling will improve over the season, which will obviously help our cause. We
now move on to Delhi Capitals, who of course beat CSK in that first game, as we've just mentioned. Today wasn't such a similar story. Bit of a sorry state of affairs for the opening batsmen. Shaw and Dhawan going early. Stoinis not doing too much. Pant stepped up with the bat today, 51 of 32. Fortunate to get out when he did. Roy, your thoughts on that?
Still not overly sold on Pant. I know you just said he stepped up then, but where was he when his team needed him? Do you know what I mean? Where was he when his team needed him to really push that total on? He's come into this IPL being lauded really as like the next big, the big thing in terms of franchise cricket and Indian cricket, if you like. I feel like today was a bit of a flop, to be honest. I think he should have done much more.
It was a low scoring wicket today, and he scored 51.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a low-scoring wicket. It's not a low-scoring wicket. It's only a low-scoring wicket if you play 4 shots.
Why is it not a low-scoring wicket?
It's Mumbai.
Wankhede known for it. Mumbai is always known for it. You get quite a good bounce.
They didn't play on the same wicket they played on the other day, did they? They played on it. They moved over.
He's got to have a couple of games to get into it, I suppose. Becoming captain.
Who scored more than him today?
Responsibility.
Who scored more than Pant today?
No one.
Miller, mate, and that's why we won the game.
Wrong team, Roy.
Shaw hit 72 or 38 against Chennai, and Darwin 85 or 54. Again, we all know an on-form Darwin means, he's got. I think I'm pretty sure he's in the top 5 run scorers of all time in IPL. If you can get Darwin scoring, then Delhi will go off on a good run for sure. Tom Curran, want to just mention him. 1 for 40 in the first game of his 4 overs. Shocking. And in the last game, I don't actually, against Rajasthan, I don't know his stats, but all I know is that he bowled against Chris Morris. And I'm pretty sure I speak for all of the Fourth Stump here when we say that not one of us had any confidence in him. He made Chris Morris today look amazing, in my opinion. And that's why Delhi lost the game, I think. Tom Curran.
I think the way he bowls, you can't put him in them death overs. He bowls balls that are going to go up quite high, quite nice to the waist. He bowled a full toss to his waist. That's going for 6 no matter who's batting.
This is a guy that's woefully out of form.
Yeah.
If I was a Delhi Capitals tonight, I would have said, I'm going to have Tom Curran before and then Rabada at the end. Why don't they just change the application? I know they say bring your best bowler on the 19th over.
Ashwin had 3 overs today. He could have had one of Rabada's earlier overs and saved Rabada for 2 of the last 3. If you can bowl him in the power play early on, he actually doesn't go for a lot, if you notice. So
9 balls in, he'd conceded 2 runs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you can get him early on,
I'm not having you saying that he's a bad bowler, because he's not. Just not at the death. Chris Morris was a bit fired up though for it, wasn't he? Had to prove the price tag at some point, and well, it's worth every penny today, Roy, wasn't he?
There wasn't many lower down the order that could have done what Morris did tonight, you know.
No.
And he does it with ease. I mean, that flick six that he hit. I mean, I know it was a poor ball from Tom Curran, but just, I mean, the connection is just perfect. As soon as he flicked it, I was like six. You didn't even have to look. You know, sometimes the ball goes up in the air and you think, oh, is it clear defence? Is it clear defence? You didn't have to worry with him, because you know when he connects big time and it's gone. You're not bowling well enough to try back of the hand slower ball against someone like Chris Morris. Like you said, the pressure basically was sort of off Chris Morris in the end, wasn't it? Because he was against someone who was bowling terrible balls. I mean, like you said, most of those balls should have been hit for 4 and 6. But Chris Morris, Ross calls him the bank robber. I call him the saviour, the $1 million man. Got us over the line. If he's a bank robber, mate, he's got the best balaclava and AK-47 I've ever seen.
That's it. Here at the Fourth Stump, we do love a good go off topic, don't we? Like, we're not even covering Rajasthan.
Oh, we do.
Just before we carry on to the other 4 teams, just another plea for you to like and subscribe to our content. We got 20 or so videos ready to go for your viewing on YouTube, based on the England series against India and the IPL team previews in particular. We're on Facebook at the Fourth Stump page, at the fourthstump.uk, and also on YouTube as well. Check us out and like and subscribe for more content.
Yeah, and if you go on the Facebook page and you see the comments, you see that we always get back to everyone. You know, there's 4 of us. There's always a lively debate going on somewhere on that.
This is the beauty of cricket. You know, not only just enjoying it ourselves, but we're spreading it to everybody, just spreading the love of cricket and spreading the word of cricket, which I think everyone should love. I mean, how can you not love the game of cricket? So when you've watched this, just click subscribe and be back here with us again for our next video, guys, because we can't wait to have you.
Established rules and established technology. So if you're enjoying football at the moment, or if you're a bit actually disgruntled with footbtle at the moment, come join us. We'll show you how it's done here.
We'll show you a good time.
Just as a little preview as well, we are planning to do a little stint, a little episode on that very topic, umpire's call and the technologies. That'll be coming in the next week or so, and we hope you enjoy that. Moving on, and afraid to say it, it's KKR time, isn't it? Mixed bag.
Hey!
Mixed bag.
Ross can't hide it.
Oh my God! Yes.
Little bit confident after that first game, even though Roy calls it KK bore, a bit boring. I call it methodic, of course, and absolutely loved that first game against Sunrisers. It was done with ease. Rana there at the top, striking 80 runs, was then at the time the highest scoring batsman, and loved it. But then that happened on Monday in
just a question, Ed. I mean, for you, have you actually? Would you say you've seen any improvement in this side over the years? Because we was used to, don't forget, KKR were champions, and we was used to going, watching KKR and thinking, God, these guys are serious.
Yeah.
You know, these were serious. It was a serious side. You know, the things that Narayan used to do.
We are still a serious side, and I'm seeing lots on social media from other people that I'm talking to as well that are convinced that KKR are going to come back. And from that first performance, I think they will. I think it's very important this third game for our morale. I mean, Ross said it perfectly in our preview video just before the IPL started. He said the top players, your Narayans and your Russells, like you don't look at them anymore and see them as a threat. And it just absolutely proved right in that game. Like I said, Russell didn't look like he'd never held a bat before in his life.
I was the only person out of this group that predicted KKR top 4. And I still think that's right.
I'll agree with you, mate. After our next game, we're up against Bangalore, two wins out of 2. So it's going to be a real tough test for us.
The viewers won't know this, but me and Ed will always take a day of annual leave. We always pop down a pub for this game. It's probably one of the biggest days in our friendship in the calendar. So when it comes round, I'm absolutely pumped. I'm going to be really honest with you. When we went 152 all out at the innings break, I still sort of believed we'd pull it off. Then your opening batsman come out. Rana hit 57 off 47. Superman Gill 33 off 24. I was in the toilet. I was
Common theme.
I was locked in the toilet and I weren't coming out. Next thing I know, Chahar comes in, bang, 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 bang. Top 4 gone. Rana, Gill, Tripathi, Morgan gone. Yep. Where was your lineup, Ed? Yep. Where was that? Shakib, 9, Morgan, 7, Parsley, 8, Russell, 9.
there was zero partnership building, because I saw Mumbai and I was like, yes, we got this in the bag, because Kolkata are a team that normally strike their ones and twos and maybe a boundary off each over, and they do that consistently, like my Sydney Sixers over in Australia. Like they are the kings of rotating the strike and getting those 1 and 2s. Very average tournament, but what I do say is that didn't happen. When as soon as KKR did start, and I think third over in, we'd hit maybe 3 4s and the rest of them had been dots, and you're just like, well, it doesn't breed much confidence.
For me, that's exactly what Morgan does. That's what he does with the England team. It's what he's done now with the Kolkata team. He tries to get the team to win it in as little balls as possible, and that's why there was no partnerships. That's why there was no rotation of strike. They were all.
I knew this would be Morgan's fault.
Why do you have to win in 16 overs when it's 20 overs in a match?
Yeah, I've got to agree with Rob here, Roy. I think it is kind of Morgan's fault.
How can you blame Morgan? You had Mumbai Indians bowled out for 152 and you lost.
No.
Why are you blaming
Where were they though in that match? Where were they? They were on something like 80 without loss, and then the next 4 just throw away their wickets. Bang, 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 bang. Just
I said at the innings break that he just didn't put a foot wrong in the field. Like the right people came out at the right time, the right death bowlers. Russell then did what no man has ever done and got a 5 in only 2 overs. What I'm getting onto is the fact that Morgan inspires nothing with his batting. When you see the Indian players for Kolkata, look at other teams and you see who they have as their captains. When you look at RCB and they're looking at Kohli and they're going, well, I have to step up here because my captain inspires me. That doesn't
You've
exist.
still got one of the best white ball captains in the world. I just don't get where you guys are going with this.
After Morgan's got out for 7, Kartik's coming in like, oh, do I have to mop it up then? I can see why, that we then had no chance going forward towards the end of that.
You didn't lose the game because Morgan got out. There's other batsmen who need to stand up. I mean, you mentioned one of them.
Yeah, but
Andre Russell, absolutely ridiculous. Why are we not blaming him? Why are we not blaming him? He's turning up this time with no injuries, fully fit. Well, where's a fully fit Russell then? All I saw was some bloke trying to stand and hit every ball for 6.
Yeah,
that's what cricket's about.
That's Morgan's philosophy. That's what he does. Win the game in as few balls as possible. There's no match management ever. There's no just rotate, strike for 20 balls and win the game.
You play the ball on its merit. Andre Russell's experienced enough to understand that he needs to work his way into an innings, not just stand there and belt the ball. That shouldn't come from Morgan. That should come from Andre Russell's brain. Who's holding the bat?
Well,
Morgan's not holding the bat.
If he stands there and rotates strike, he might not be playing next game.
It was a bad philosophy, and certainly I can see if KKR don't do well this year, you can probably see they're the most likely team to have a change around a captain.
When people watch this video, I want you to comment and tell me whether you think the downfall of this KKR side is Owen Morgan as captain. If anyone believes that, they shouldn't even be talking about cricket.
I don't want him when you're 2-3 wickets down and you need someone to just stand there and rotate strike. I do not want Morgan stood there because I can guarantee you now the ball's going up in the air. Woo! Cheers.
Yep.
Unbelievable. One of the greatest captains of all time. He's not instilling any confidence at the minute in terms of what he's doing with the bat. I completely get that. He's out of form with the bat.
And as captain,
there's no much management. You have to inspire. You have to inspire in the IPL.
He takes a lot of wickets because he brings the field up, which a lot of captains don't want to do. Fantastic. A lot of England wickets that we got against India. We bought a slip in, and we took a wicket because that's his aggressive side of things.
Yeah, I love that. I love him.
He's not just sitting down with Andre Russell saying, "Right, Russell, when you go out there, son, I want you to try and smash every ball."
When the media say to him afterwards, "Oh, what did you think of that then? Do you think it was a bit too aggressive?" He always says, "No, we're going to continue these tactics. We're going to continue being aggressive." And that's great when you're chasing down, a big 220. But you're chasing 150. There's no need for that aggression. One of the other things that you just said then, I do give him credit for as well, is he'll stand and talk to bowlers and he trusts them. He says, where do you want to bowl this ball? I'm setting the field for you. And that's brilliant. I love that about him. I love the fact that he puts his confidence in bowlers and he sets that field amazing. There's probably no one better in the game than him for that.
One thing I'd really like to praise Kolkata for is their bowling so far this tournament. Krishna and Cummings, I looked on at the stats this morning, and of the 10 fastest balls this IPL so far, they've got 6 of them. Absolutely banging it down the track. Cummings has got a 6.75 economy rate from his 8 overs. He truly has now, I think, from evidence of the first 2 games, he's got the hang of the IPL, and he's getting wickets as well. I think he's going to be a very important factor that we didn't have last year. Krishna as well. Didn't see too much of him last year. But yeah, they're really proving the difference. Russell as well, getting his 5 wickets. I know it's towards the end and Mumbai was sort of hitting out. And their spinners as well. So I think that's a really important aspect that Kolkata have. Like, I don't think we're going to go for too many runs.
That Russell bowling innings didn't get enough credit because you lost. You know, if you'd won that game by, say, 2 balls, you'd have said, well, how good was Russell towards the end there?
Yeah, well, at the halfway stage, you're like, wow, he must be absolutely buzzing to get out into that middle now and, show some excitement with the bat. But whatever happened between that and the 15th over when he did come out to bat finally and just made an absolute chunk of it, really. Keeps impressed me massively. Doesn't Orion come back into the team, Ross, our favourite?
On last year's form, no, but on nostalgia, on Kolkata, it has to. He has to come back. I mean, for me, you have to at least give him a try. Otherwise, you would have got rid of him, wouldn't you?
Interesting debate there about Morgan from Rob and Roy. If you guys want to get involved in that, mention it in the comment section below. I'm sure there'll be plenty more of it coming up in the coming months. We move on to our next team now. Sunrisers Hyderabad played 2 games, 2 losses. Bovey, Roy, he's looking more at sea than the Navy, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on because he come in terrific form, obviously. In the one-day internationals against England, and he's experienced on these decks as well, on these tracks. So I'm a bit unsure of what's going on. He looks a bit bamboozled himself.
I think he's gone for 45 and 41, hasn't he? I've written it down, but I read it earlier. 45 and 41 of his 4.
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think he has.
Nataraj and 2, too expensive. They were your 2 players, Roy. What's gone on?
Yeah, I'm shocked by both of them. I really am, to be honest, mate. I can only hold my hands up and just say I didn't expect them to start this way. However, this is a long tournament, so watch this space.
One thing I'll say about Hyderabad, I mean, you talk about Hyderabad's bowling. Yes, they've lost the first 2 games, and yes, they are still in my top 4 this year. I still think they'll come good. Bairstow hit 55 off the first innings, and Pandey hit 61. Both Saha and Warner did fail in the first game. Warner came good in the second game with amazing innings. And also, I mean, Rashid Khan. I mean, he swung with the bat and obviously with the ball. We all know what Rashid Khan does. I still expect
that. Yeah. Sorry.
The other thing I'd want to mention on Hyderabad as well, the players they've got in the wings waiting. They've still got Roy and Kane Williamson if they need them at any point, and Majib. How good's IPL when Kane Williamson doesn't get into a side that's not even, up there at the moment?
It's a real problem. I was listening on the commentary of today's game as well, and they were saying about how Sunrisers have so much international talent that it really is a predicament how to make it gel and who to utilize at the right times. I wouldn't envy that. I wouldn't envy having all those players of such quality.
They say the win percentage without Kane is a lot lower than with Kane. I think they win about 55% with him and down to about 26 without him. It's a big difference.
How bad is that moustache from Warner? What is he thinking? What is that on his face? I mean, I've seen some moustaches in Australia. I mean, Ross, you've been to Australia, you've lived in Australia, you must have seen some tashes because they love a tash out there, don't they? But that is shocking, mate. What is that?
Yeah, I sent you boys the video in the group earlier about him doing the dance.
Yeah.
Can you see Steve Harmison doing that? The Steve Harmison of old getting involved with that, or would he just go, nah?
Might have been that, mate.
Too hard for that, mate. Very right about Rashid Khan, Ross. 4 wickets so far, doing business with the bat. He just seems to be getting in batsmen's heads just before he's even bowled the ball, doesn't he? The skill he's got. But Sunrisers also, they'll get in the top 4 because so far they've played 2 other teams that are going to get in the top 4 in Kolkata and RCB. So they should be fine. Completely changed.
Who's missing out then, Mumbai or DC?
What do you think it is with Rashid Khan, though? Why do you think he does get into these batsmen's heads? What is his skill? Because sometimes I watch him bowl and I think, surely these cricketers by now should be able to pick him. Because when you watch his motion in slow motion, it's very difficult to pick the googly from the one that goes away. But there is a slight variation. These batsmen, surely by now, you'd think they wouldn't have that fear factor as much as they do. They look terrified.
Do you think part of the reason might be that Afghanistan don't play enough international matches? You know, if you see India, England and New Zealand, Australia, they play a lot of matches. And these players you get to see a lot of, whereas Afghanistan, you don't really, not as much anyway. You do get them, but generally
possibly
just the franchises you see them in.
Rashid Khan is bowling in Australia. He's now in India. He goes all over the world.
T10.
T10s. I mean, he's coming to the hundreds.
Yeah, he does seem to go for some boundaries these days. I mean, he's not invincible. You can get at him, but more often than not, he's just got the ability to miss your bat.
Bold prediction here, but for me, Rashid Khan will go on to be the greatest ever IPL wicket taker. That's my opinion. I think it's currently Malinga.
No.
I think he'll take.
How old is he? He's 22, 23?
Young.
Just young.
I don't know why he's still considered a bowler and not an all-rounder as well. Puts a lot of work into his back work.
Two things here. You two are going to see. Ed and Roy are going to see a little segment. You both did this at the same time.
Oh, really?
It's absolutely ridiculous. It was like when
we had a sip of water. Oh, so good. Second to last team now is the Punjab Kings, who played one game so far. They play tomorrow against Chennai. They beat the Rajasthan Royals in the opening game by 4 runs in the end, but they did get 221 runs. So it was a remarkable achievement from Rajasthan to even get close. Huda 64 of 28, and KL Rahul really has now proved that he is back with his 91 of 50. Terrific display. Richardson expensive, went for 55. Only got 1 wicket. First time in the IPL. We were saying just a second ago about Cummings and how he's now, seemingly got that. So we're expecting Richardson to do it, of course. But what was your thoughts on the game, Ross?
Well, during our preview video, I did actually have players to look out for Punjab, and one of my picks was Chris Gale. Now, Chris Gale hit 40 off 28, and man, this man does not age. This man does not age. And I was watching that game, and he also fielded really well.
Didn't he? I can't believe
he got down low. It was amazing. You mentioned Rao. I was going to mention about Rao, 91. Deepak Hooda, 64 off 28. I mean, ridiculous innings. I mean, Roy must have been watching and thinking, what's going on here? I do think maybe Punjab could be an outside chance for the top 4. I know we're only 1 game in, and I don't know. There's going to be a couple of teams this year that's going to upset. I think my upsetting team is Kolkata. But I mean, for me, Jai Richardson, you did mention it already, 55. I don't know if he's going to perform this year. Hit and miss play. I don't know. It was amazing, the Big Bash. Moving up to the IPL was a big step up. I mean, this is not a joke. This is a.
I still fancy him doing well. I still think he will come good. I still think he's got to take confidence. I mean, everyone banged out that game.
One thing that Pauran went out for a duck, a golden duck as well. So maybe alarm bells early on. Only first game, sort of hard to tell. But Pauran is definitely instrumental.
Well, you got Meredith. I'm very surprised to have seen both of them play. I think that maybe there is a chance in there for the international talent and sure steady hand of Moses Enriques.
Absolutely, I completely agree, Moses. I mean, we've all
he can be your hero, baby.
Death bowler specialist. I was crying out for Kolkata to get him in the auction, but that wasn't happening in the end. But I think his experience can come in certainly when the going gets tough. So,
a lot of the credit for KL has to really come from Kohli, from keeping him in when he was woefully out of form against England. Because a lot of people were saying, he's not got it anymore. He's not good enough. They should take him out of this game, take him out of that game. Kohli, the captain, stood up and said, no, I believe in this batsman. Kept him playing, and he struggled through his knocks. And look at him now. Look how well he was timing the ball the other day.
There was a game where he even dropped Pan just to keep Rahul in.
Exactly that. I remember exactly the game we're talking about.
He really did perform that day.
Now move on to our final team just to review, and by no means the least, the Rajasthan Royals, who nearly pulled off the impossible against the Punjab Kings by chasing down 221. Fell 4 runs short in the end. Samsung hitting 119 and being on the losing side, Roy. Like, from that first game, we'll move on to today's game where you're happier, of course. But from that first game, describe the experience to us.
Oh, it's a typical Rajasthan Royals IPL, isn't it? It's a mixture of emotion. It's like they bring you up here, then they smash you back down here again, Like even just watching how well Samson was playing, you just thought to yourself, there's no way on earth he's not going to see the team home.
Mm.
You know, like, what was it, 119 from 63 balls, 12 fours and 7 sixes, a strike rate of 188.89. I mean, how does that not see you home? Devastating to lose, absolutely devastating. But his first role as a captain, and I thought to myself, I was a little bit unsure, because I got obviously halfway round. I'm thinking to myself, my God, his team have been smashed all round the park. Part of him would have been thinking, my God, it's my first showing as captain and we've been hammered. And then to come out and perform the way he did like that, I mean, was just a credit to him, really, absolute credit. And then, like you say, the elation of today. Look at today, you know. And he didn't perform overly well himself, but it was a good team spirit performance there that got us home. But that's the thing with the Royals. Honestly, watch us, because you never know what you're going to get. Honest to God.
Whilst you're on that Samson thing, though, I just wanted to say he really wanted to take the role on his shoulders, didn't he? Because that last ball where he didn't run, he sent Morris back. And he said, no, I need to hit this ball for 6. I'm not letting you try and hit 4. If we lose, it's on me and not on you. He took so much accountability on that last ball. Mm-hmm. But watching Morris today, should you have just let Morris just stand and try and hit a 4? You know what I mean? But it was good of him to not do that. It was good of him to say, no, I'm going to take this on my shoulders. You have already got the pressure of being the most expensive player in the history, as Ross calls him, the bank robber. You know, go back. I'll do it. I'll take this.
I'm just interested, mate. Did you think that was the right decision or not?
It was the right decision because he wanted to take accountability. I think in the match scenario, I think you've got to let anyone try and hit 4. I don't care if you're number 10.
So he needed a 6, and if he took the single, then the next ball needed only a boundary.
Yeah, he just needed 4. Chris Morris, I would have let Chris Morris hit 4, yeah.
Thankfully, we're not 2 losses, 2 games from 2 losses. We've actually turned it around and we've got ourselves on the W column.
We've already mentioned Chris Morris. First 2 games, I mean, he scored 2 or 4 in the first game. I don't take any blame for him for that. But he was expensive with the ball, but took 2 wickets. Now, in the second game, he went for 9 over, 27 runs off of his 3 overs and took 1 wicket. So he's 3 wickets down. But obviously his contribution with the bat today was unbelievable. I mean, he hit the winning runs, 36 off of 18, strike rate of 200. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on Chris Morris. I don't know. We're only 2 games.
First player today to hit a 6, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He was.
Yeah, I mean, today was a bit frustrating. Although we won it, I would like to have seen that a bit of an easier chase, to be honest. I was glad to see Butler open him, but he didn't look all that confident, to be honest. I think, but with Butler, I don't know what you guys think. Do you think he's better when he just stands there and tries to think almost Owen Morgan style tactics? Don't get started here, Rob. Don't get excited. I'm not going to mention Morgan too much.
Just try and bash the ball about, yeah.
Yeah, because when I noticed with Butler, whenever he tries to like just move his way into an inning, similar to what Chris Gale can do, he seems to fall short. And then, today was just a procession of wickets, wasn't it? I mean, you guys were absolutely loving it when we was getting skittled, but I'm so glad we turned that round.
3 players who are going to make a really big difference for you this year, Roy, and they've already done pretty well. Man and Vora coming in at that second as well. Josh Butler can stand and deliver. He can play that Morgan role of bang into the boundaries early on. Plays tippy-tappy when he needs to. But Vora coming in there is a solid hand. He's got nine runs today. Not the best, but I think he will do really well in some of these games coming up for you. Second is Miller. I mean, is it a good thing that Ben Stokes is out? Because Miller's come in and absolutely played a blinder today. And
you don't often see that from Miller, do you? I mean, I was impressed to see what I was seeing from him. We needed someone to stand up and get us close. Without his knock today, we wouldn't have got over the line. So let's have it right. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. But you wonder whether if Ben Stokes had been there, would it have been a different story entirely? And there's still a player to come in as well. And I'm looking at the possible players to come in. Could it be the rise of the Finch, Roy? What do you reckon? I absolutely love it.
Oh, wouldn't it be brilliant? Wouldn't it be brilliant?
Bring.
Wait.
Hello,
please don't get me started, please. Please.
That would be another sensible name to come in. Bags of IPL experience.
No, come on.
Your third player, Roy. Your third player, that I'm running, Unad Kat. I'm loving him. He's looking really good. 15 runs, 3 wickets today. He's right up there now. I think he got a fair few wickets in the first game as well, so he's right up there along with Russell as top run scorer. I think Russell's got 6. Harsha Patel's got 7, I think. What a game, what a start he's had, and but it's been a bowling start. I think there's been more outstanding bowling performances than there have been batting.
Yeah, I was just saying, wouldn't it be great to see Hales come in as England fans?
No.
If they could pick Hales up and just give a little bit of a headache to the selectors. Just let's say he came in and just averaged 40, just a little headache. He's playing well in India. Brilliant.
Thank you very much for listening. We've been the Fourth Stump. That's been the first 7 games of IPL 2021. We're really enjoying it. We're enjoying.
What a week! What a week!
And we hope you're enjoying listening to us, and keep checking us out on our Facebook channel and on YouTube as well. We're under the name The Fourth Stump. Click the little bell and subscribe button. We also hope to get people onto the show in the coming weeks to show off your cricket knowledge as well. So yeah, spaces to be filled.
There's got to be people watching this that believe in Morgan. Please get this stuff.
And I'm sure there are, but they're going back 3-4 years. They're going back 3-4 years. The guy's useless now.
I do last.
I've been Ross.
I've been Rob.
Western.
And I've been Ed, and we thank you very much for listening.